It takes a bit of time. How's this? Because good morning, everybody in YouTube, and I'm happy to have everyone from Facebook. I'm Stephanie Brown, and if you're new to me, I live in St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada. A lot of my Facebook people, hey Carol, a lot of my Facebook people are from my own area. A little bit about me. My hubby is the mayor of St. Thomas, and that's been quite a ride. We had no idea when he ran that COVID-19 would exist. So, we're here to talk about mental health, and I am a certified social service worker. I graduated from a college in London, Ontario, Canada called Fanshawe College. And I am also a bipolar survivor. And I say survivor because people don't survive. They just, the disease is very difficult. The way I describe bipolar is like having Alzheimer's, only you're entirely aware that it's happening, even when you're irrational. There's a part of you, a teensy tiny parts of you that knows that what's happening is not good. And if you want to know more, go back to the first of my videos and look. So, if you have a question here on YouTube or on Facebook, submit them, and I will be happy to answer. So I do have a question from my Facebook family, and her name is Deb, and she says, "You always seem to get your fitness in. I struggle with doing fitness." You might hear beeps and stuff throughout broadcasts, as I have a lot of encouraging people in my different family groups of Facebook and everywhere. So, people really appreciate what I'm doing to share my struggles that you better life. So back to Deb's question. So she says I always seem to get my fitness in, and she struggles with doing fitness. And you say, Deb, I want to just have I have trouble getting motivated. Can you give advice? Absolutely. So, fitness in mental health is really important. When we do fitness, it's that not only gives a good physical experience, but the motivation for me is how I feel when I'm done. So, something fun, Deb. Good morning, Carol. Something fun that I want to share with you a story that is different from you, but may be able to help you get to that point of just doing it. I mean, Nike's whole premise of their company is just do it. Why? Because we all know it's good for us to exercise and properly. We all know that. But the question is, why don't we do it? So they said, just do it. And that's kind of funny when you think about it. So know that you're not alone, because an entire company, their catchphrase is Nike's, just do it. Well, sometimes that's easier said than done. So, first of all, if you don't feel good about where you're at or where your body is at, first of all, do not beat yourself up. Don't say should. Okay? I should have done this a long time ago. No, 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 no. No, don't do that. Don't look backwards. I was this fit when I was 30, but when I when I lost my marriage after 14 years, I was devastated. And being bipolar, whenever you have loss, grief, or trauma, send you into being episodic, which just means having symptoms. Hey, Lawrence. So here's the thing. This will make sense in a minute, Deb. So being manic means you are irrational, you have a very high S, bleep, X drive. You are not in control of self, and you're erratic and irrational. But when I started to get medicated, here, hit myself in the head. Something interesting happened. I got manic, mania confused with motivation. So, true motivation, I have discovered. Mania is like your brain is telling you to do stuff constantly 24 hours a day and not sleep. But true motivation, and I worked out and all that, so I was unclear that mania is not motivation. So for those of you on YouTube who are tuning into this for bipolar disorder, mania is not motivation. Can't get them confused. Motivation, Deb, true motivation is this. I don't want to do it, but this is why I'm going to do it. Like yesterday, I ran 8.5 kilometers. I've built myself up to that. I'm not bragging. I'm saying that when you work out, your body will just ask for more. And so the stats are in doing exercise, you need an exercise buddy. They keep you accountable. If your friend is getting up at 5 a.m. to meet you at the gym, you will not let that person down. Will get up. 80% of all people do not have a buddy quit. That's a stat I learned a long time ago. So find a workout buddy. Mine is our mayor. My medications for bipolar depression are really intense, and it's very hard to get up. It's like I've had too much drink, and so here is like I am 45, but I've lived 2 lifetimes, and so Joe is older than me, but we click so much mentally. So smart, and that's finally I realized that bipolar in some ways is a gift. Most of the people that invented things or have done anything incredible, like create the light bulb or create the engine for the Ford Model T, Mr. Henry Ford, or they are saying that Janis Joplin was bipolar. A lot of great things were done by bipolar. But I relate to you, Deb, on the motivation side. So when I hear Joe get out of bed, I'm the one who's nagged him that he needs to work out. If I sleep, I'm letting him down. So if you can find, Deb, a workout buddy, say, hey, you know what? Let's do this for a whole year. Get to this point again has taken me 3 years. So the other thing about fitness, Deb, is what you want to accomplish. Now, if you have to be self-aware. Self-awareness in any circumstance, whether you don't have bipolar or you do, or you have anxiety, OCD, schizophrenia, anything like that. Hey, Leanne, you doesn't matter what you have, or you have nothing at all. I don't feel good about myself when I can't bend sideways, when I can't touch my toes, when I'm going up the stairs. Like, I had my kids really young. It's just what we do in our family. And so it's a possibility that at 50, I'll be a grandma. And, and maybe I'll be a grandma of a 3-year-old. And, you know, I want to be able to keep up with them. So, what they say, they being like big time speakers, probably heard it, Deb. They say, what is your why? And you can say that about anything in your life, whether it be business or fitness. I don't like getting up at 5 a.m. 3 days a week. I just think it, but I will tell you, I, my psych nurse that when I need to, I used to see her quite a bit, but the book that I've been sharing with you, Bipolar Not So Much, has been quite impactful. Sorry, bipolar brain, like having Alzheimer's is just bottoms out, middle of what I'm talking about. That's a cognitive impairment. Every time that happens, I'm going to tell you, you know why? Because the studies show that people who get treatment early in their diagnosis will have a better outcome. At my age, I'm having symptoms of forgetfulness. Frustrating for my family because they have to repeat an entire important conversation. So it's a long answer because motivation to exercise is so hard. But what my psych nurse used to say is what you're saying yes to, saying no to something else. So if you're saying yes to exercising, then maybe you're saying, hey to Lynn, VD, maybe you're saying yes to sitting on the couch eating chips. It also goes deeper. What are your habits? Why do you do what you do? Are you an emotional eater? No. There's a lot of questions to ask yourself. Why don't you care enough about yourself to exercise when doctors tell us it's an important thing to do? My YouTube family, I understand that some of you are on meds like I am, and it's really hard to get up. But my Facebook family, who may or may not be on medication, just have to. I was saying, I'm going to say to both of my Facebook family here, how, where do you want to be in 5 years? physically. I will tell you that if I do not exercise, I'm not a very nice. My temperament is different. I become more irritable, more agitated, and in these times, um, I don't think you have to be bipolar to be feeling that way. So you need to ask yourself too. I mean, I'm a blunt person, Deb, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. For me to go from 180 pounds down to where I am, and I'm not gonna say a number because I don't want people to get hung up on a number. Um, because then if I'm somewhere you want to be, then you'll just feel bad about yourself, and and I don't want that. But like I have a saying, as much as you move will be as much as you move. I don't want to push a walker. My grandma, Geraldine DeLizer, 90. She still lives on her own. She does puzzles, like intricate, hard puzzles. Has this older than dirt table. The word eludes me. It's the pull out, you pull the legs, and I can't remember the word now. We grew up with them, at a family party. Like, okay, we'll set up a bunch of tables. And, anyways, he has an old, ugly reddish colored table, like rust red with faux leather on top. And for I don't know how many years, the grandma card table. Thank you, Doug. Fist bump. It's a card table. See, that's what my bipolar does. I'm just losing stuff, but thanks to you guys, you can help me. Yeah, we used card tables at family reunions or Christmas parties that everyone had enough to sit. And the kids always had to sit at the card table. Then when I had kids, I had to sit at the card table because I had to keep an eye on them. But the point being is, as she's 90, she's done puzzles all her life. She's as sharp as a tack. And that'll age me too, because that's just a phrase that I grew up with. And she has been exercising every day all her life on her little stationary bike. And she sets it up in front of, has a 2-bedroom apartment, and she sets it up in a second room. When she had a house, did the same. I think grandma had a house until she was like 75. And that woman, what you doing, grandma? Oh, cleaning the windows, you know? So you also have to ask yourself, where do you want to be in 5 years physically? It's really imperative to my treatment and anyone else who deals with health issues. My treatment is imperative to have me exercise. And what happens after you exercise is, if I still have my stats correct, because I have studied everything. That's what you do when you're bipolar. You just can't seem to find your way. But thankfully, I have. Thankfully, I'm in a healthy relationship so that I'm stable because I'm not constantly being triggered by someone that I live with that makes me insane. Um, so let's see what Kathy had to say. Oh yes, Brain fart. Yep, when we can't remember something. That's right. Hey, Jap. Jap is my cousin from Holland. Say hello to Sonia and Mark and everyone. And there's my gorgeous son, Ethan. Hi, Sorab. I'm so happy to see you. I've been thinking about you. So glad you're here. So, so, I'm glad that you've brought this up, Deb, because to my YouTube family who subscribe, because this is a bipolar channel, but during COVID, I've been addressing other difficulties. I have a lot of this difficulties people in COVID have been having. Only I have them because of my disability. I just so if you want me to be your accountability buddy, Deb, I'd be happy to encourage you. Um, you know, I would be happy to figure out a way to get you to do something. But here's what the doctors say. In my book, Bipolar Not So Much, I must have it somewhere else. It says on page 106, walking 45 minutes a day, 3 days a week is the equivalent of taking antidepressant. That having said that, don't stop taking your meds. Okay? Don't do that. Talk to your doctor. The thing that is most, I apologize, I touch my hair a lot because it's face. The thing that is most important to know is meds are not evil. Don't make them evil. They're not. Okay? I off meds. I have 2 divorces under my belt. I finally have my children back in my life because I was too much to be around. I was, you know, you don't know how you're being when you're not on your meds. And the hardest part, even as a social worker, social service, I didn't go to university for it, so I have to clarify that. I'm college educated, but it was still not easy. Is that, and this is really relevant, YouTube family, like when a parent said to me once 2 years ago, I want to talk to you. My son is in the hospital. They've got him on all these drugs. They're gonna get him stable, and then we're gonna take him off all the meds. No, the meds are the reason he's stable in the first place. So if you have a headache, would you not take something if you really wanted it to go away? Like if I have a headache, I take Advil, Tylenol, and then the headache goes away. If you have a serious brain disorder or a serious condition, why would you not take your meds? That doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like exercise. I don't know. I don't, Deb, own a scale. I don't know how educated you are on fit, but I took my CanFit Pro. I just didn't do the exam. And what you want to, how do your clothes fit? Do they fit the way you like them to? Right? And so that's the same with meds. I exercise based on how my clothes fit. Well, taking your meds, if your life is better, then keep doing it. Same with exercise. Keep doing it. So when I first, Deb, like I've always been an athlete. I've always done soccer. Um, but bipolar depression is a hormonal brain disorder, and so um, I'm also ADHD, and I have PTSD. I hate to say the word, but I was molested for a long time by a neighbor. Said that public. So my brain is pretty messed up, and when you look at your body, have to be muscle weighs more than fat. Hello, Paula. So muscle weighs more than fat. So um when you're trying to reach your goal, should you should go buy your pants. So I'll give you an example. Let's pick on Joe for a minute. Really proud of him. Joe has lost 88 pounds. I helped him do that. I was his coach. Um, so I feel like anyone I help, no, Paula, anyone I help, if I've been successful at something, then I feel like I have a right to be an expert at it. And fitness is one of those things that I'm a total junkie about. And for all of you viewers, he is the love of my life. And he told me at dinner Friday night that the love of my life in the dish um said I had to put a hole in my belt. Good morning, Debbie Thompson's. Said, I think I'm getting somewhere. I had to put a hole in my belt. So it's not the scale. I can be say I'm just going to throw out a number. I'm not going to tell you my weight because I don't want you to compare yourself to me. I want you to compare yourself to you. Say the scale says 145, but I've had a liter of water to drink. Then like the next day could read 140. So the scale isn't a good place to figure out where you are in your fitness. The important part in your fitness is how many push-ups can you do? Um, when I relapsed into depression 3 or 4 years ago, I was grieving the loss of um, very important people in life who I don't blame them, but they just didn't want to talk to me. Devastating. I'm tingle in the back of my throat. And so I just went into a deep, deep, dark hole. And I just sat on my black chair and cried my eyes out day in and day out. I was not inspirational at all. And when sometimes when you lose like a death, I have lost somebody close to me, car accident. You know, there's no nothing to be but sad as they're gone. I me at the time I wasn't stable in as far as bipolar goes. And so I didn't emotionally eat, although that is a problem for me, believe it or not. Don't have it in the house, you can't eat it. Side note. Um, I was 180 pounds. Actually, talking to you, I should probably keep the dress that I wore And I was so in a bad place. You probably heard me mention yet. But if you go back in my pictures, see the weight in my face and my hair is short. Why? Because I was in such a stress, dark place that my hair fell out, or I had to cut it off. So, um, exercising helps. Does anybody know what cortisol is? Give you a minute to. So, cortisol is a nasty chemical that when we are in fight or flight zone from a gland here dumps crap system. Personally, um, feels like I'm achy, I'm fluish, I'm not motivated, um, I just exhausted. So exercise keeps that at bay. Because of all the stuff I've been through, my reaction is to be in fight or flight. Fight or flight, I want to understand it, or maybe you already do, is we're not supposed to be in fight or flight. We're not supposed to, because it's helpful. Anxiety is actually helpful. If a car is coming, anxiety goes, like the song says, get out the way, get out the way. I won't say the other part of the song because it's not appropriate. But um gives that sense of danger. It's kind of like, you know, movie Bambi, or the deer, they hear us and they run when, right? That's that sense of I'm in danger. But if you've been through trauma, you maybe need to do trauma work, trauma therapy. And that's because it if you this has to do with exercise. If you are in fight or flight all the time, you are straining your adrenal glands, and you are making your immune system suppressed. So I would get sick from everything. Now this goes to your bipolar, but it also can not. You're always intensely afraid and or saying what if, or always on ready to jump at any moment, um your immune system will be kaput and you'll catch everything. I used to get sinus infections all the time. I used to get bronchitis really bad, like it became a normal thing. But it's not normal to get um um to be sick like that all the time. So this was a very excellent question, Deb. If you want your mind to be sharper, you should exercise. How do you start? Motivation, true motivation of anything is doing something you don't want to do, but you do it anyway. So motivation doesn't mean people, that group over there is doing it because they feel like it and you don't, and what a loser are you. No, motivation is those people decided, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to because I get so much out of exercising rather than not exercising. And I would give you some homework. You know, um, I'm speaking to both of my families here, YouTube and Facebook. Um, now, if you take medications of any kind, some of the side effects are weight gain, you really better be exercising because um, carry extra weight. Meds can do that. That doesn't mean I wouldn't trade anything for how good I feel right now. But I also wasn't accepting obesity either, because one of the side effects of my meds is weight gain. And I was told by a counselor that I am a small percentage of people who take meds that exercise. Hey Sarah, if you have a mental illness and you take medication, even if it's anxiety, you need to exercise because the medications sometimes are formulated that they'll calm you down, but they also slow down your metabolism. And when you're in your 40s, and actually, just so you know, hey Kirk Douglas Hunt, cool name, Kirk. I know we know each other, but I just had to say that. Um, the thing about taking meds and exercising is if you don't get your fight or flight response under your control, your extreme anxiety, you're you're stressing your adrenal glands, and to my YouTube family, anxiety with a severe brain disorder like bipolar or um, anything, you know, OCD, whatever. Anyone who's jumped in now, I'm streaming to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Um, so if you can, you need to take your meds, calm yourself, whatever the doctor's goal is with you, because cortisol in fight or flight is dumping into your system, and you'll get that ugly belly fat. I mean, at least I didn't like it. Maybe you don't care. That's your prerogative. But I don't want anyone when I'm older helping me to put my socks on or my shoes. I remember bending over my gut 4 years ago and having to hold my breath so I could. I just didn't like that. And the scary part is that if you don't do anything about it, it's accumulative. So every decade we lose, might get the stat wrong, but it's around 7% muscle mass. That's scary. That's why women get bat wings, because the muscle is not, you want to fill your skin up with muscles. Strength training, the Health Canada has said strength training is really important 3 days a week. Important to, to strengthen your muscles. Um, there's a saying, I'm also a healthcare aide. I know. What am I not? That just comes from being bipolar. I just couldn't figure myself out. Hey Colleen. So as a healthcare aide, we had a saying that as a healthcare aide, I took care for a very short stint because, as you know, being bipolar, can't hold a job for very long. But we learned a saying: broke or she fell. Your bones, um, your muscles, your bones can be brittle if you don't put them under stress. And not stress in a bad way, but like lifting weights. And you know what encourages me, I mean, maybe maybe you're on a tight budget and you can't afford to go to CrossFit, but if you live near a CrossFit gym, I highly recommend it, because you will, if you can do like I did Thursday. It was a partner workout, and it was So I can't do, they call it RX. An RX means like a prescription of what a woman should be doing for the exercise and weight and what a man should be. I never do it. I'm not, like, my joke is I'm not out to lift a car anytime soon. So no big deal. So I might lift 25 pounds instead of the RX. Hey, Mike, talking about fitness and stuff right now, which I know you're interested in. I might lift. So here was the workout. So my partner, she would run 800 meters, and then I'd have to do a farmer's carry, which is a kettlebell, is a ball with a handle on it, and carry it 400 meters. And when she got back, it was my turn to do 800 meters. And it's on a time limit. And I ended up doing 3,600 meters of running and 25 pounds, 400 meters, saying. Now, I would not have been able to do that a year ago. So, start small. Am I starting small and getting my life back physically? Was walking for an hour and a half every day for months. But, there's some people that I know that went into CrossFit at 350 pounds and are now the fittest guys I meet. And I'm really proud. If you're from St. Thomas, Ontario, Joe, your mayor, is doing CrossFit, and I'm proud of him, but I'm not surprised because 3 years ago he was doing an intense workout called Power, and it was also weight combined with aerobics. And if you want to do really effective fat burning exercises, it's called HIIT training, and it's where you're um, you're really going hard, and then you're slowing your heart rate down. So you're getting your heart rate way up, and then you switch to an exercise that is almost, call it recovery. So the kettlebell that I did 400 meters was a recovery, and it doesn't sound like it, but when you've just run 800 meters carrying 25 pounds, felt awesome. So and so what happens is after your workout, for about an hour, your body is burning fat as if you're still working out, which I think is super cool. The other thing that is a good tip for you, and this is also for my YouTube family, because with medications can come unwanted weight gain, and it can make you upset. There's the brain fart, Deb. Working out, the best time, in my opinion, I will say it again, is to work out before start your day. Why? Because you're going to be burning fat, unwanted fat, because it's the first part of the day. If you work out at the end of the day, that's fine. I just find there's the self-awareness. If you can't work out at the beginning of the day, maybe it is better for you at the end. But for me, beginning is best because I'm burning stored fat. And confession, I've told you all that I take my medicine every morning with 75 to 85% dark chocolate. I eat a lot of it, and it's because it's a joke. I sing, just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. So There's a lot of fiber, believe it or not, in dark chocolate. The antioxidants in dark chocolate are also excellent. Um, I have no makeup on and no filter. I've noticed that my skin is better um, because Keiko, you can look up Keiko in dark chocolate, what it does. Hi, Scott. Answer you in a second, Mike. So, so just so you're not confused, recap. I don't own a scale. I go by how my clothes fit. I don't eat emotionally. So you need to know, you need to write down, am I hungry or am I bored? Because some people will disagree with me, but food is not entertainment. I know that we get together as family and that, and food is something to celebrate with. Okay, fine. My birthday, Christmas, um, but food is not entertainment. And I mean by that is you're anxious, you're sitting on the couch watching your favorite show, mindlessly stuffing your face. I mean, the other thing to need to ask yourself is you need to get real. Like I said in my post the other day, if you want to change things, you've got to change things. If you want things to change, you have to change things. And so if if you need to get honest with yourself about what you're doing, like are you I'm not shaming you, I'm just calling it out. Are you going, I'm on a diet and it's not working, but you're eating fudge and chips and you're like, well, it's only a little, but only a little. Um I remember in my training there are 9 calories in one. I think this is true still. There are 9 calories in 1 gram of fat. That let that sink in. There are 9 calories. Speaking to my YouTube family, sometimes our meds make us have cravings. That sucks because they really are there. They really make you crave salty, greasy, fatty foods. But it is possible to be self aware. So, mindfulness behavioral therapy, you're always going to hear it from me. I feel like eating half a bag of ketchup chips, but I'm only having that craving. I'm not hungry. My medicine is making me feel that way. So I'm going to eat stringless pods. That's an example of acknowledging, not judging something you're going through, craving with food. So Mike says, are you a swimmer? To answer you, no. I used to love it as a kid. I just don't enjoy it as a sport. Um, and you swim and play tennis almost every day. That's awesome. Uh, Running after a tennis ball is like a lot of work. Good for you. Hey, Crystal. So, it's fun answering. It's fun talking about what you're wondering, and there's no better day to start than now. There's, it's people like, oh, I'm gonna do it after my birthday. I'm gonna go do it. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because again, motivation isn't ever gonna be about wanting to do it. Motivation, true motivation is, look, I did it. I ran a mile. I did it. It has nothing to do with do you want to. Motivation is I did it. So, um, exercise. I had a doctor in college. This is a long time ago. I don't know how I got to graduated college by 19. I did. I went to school at 17, I remember. Um, Maybe it's because I just in March. Doesn't matter. I had a doctor, Dr. Nari. She said if we were meant to be still and lie around, we'd all be potted plants. So if you don't feel well, if you don't want to, if you are tired, it just comes down to, oh, I'm so glad, Mike. I'll tell everyone about that in a second. It all comes down to what do you want? How bad do you want it? And let me tell you, sport or exercise is one of the best self development programs going. You know why? Because if I can do 3,600 meters of running, which, preface, that's taking me 3 years to build up to, so don't compare yourself to me. You can do half a mile, we're on the same playing field. Because if that's where you're at and you've decided to do something for yourself, awesome. So if it, if I can do this one last push up that I think I'm gonna throw up, I can do anything. And when we say I can't, it's like pulling down the blinds on curtains and making the dark black room black. Just nope, shut the door. Nope, I can't. Automatically, you won't be able to. And if you think that way in exercise, I'm sorry, not gonna, I'm just never gonna be fluffy. I'm always gonna be straight to the point. There are other parts in your life where you're not going as, where you're not giving it your all, where you need to and you should be. And I just said don't say should. I'll use a different word. If you're not where you are in your life and exercise, probably other areas. What I have found is what I'll leave you with. What I have found is that if I exercise, I push myself, then I say, this is possible in other areas of my life too, then. And so, what I will say every day, things, leave you with. Know that you're not alone. You're not alone. Say that a little louder. Although when you're stuck in your head, that's what you'll hear. Renting. Bad timing, darling. You're not alone. You're wanted. You're needed. And you're valued. Hey, Kathy. You're wanted. You're not alone. You're wanted. You're needed. You're valued. And no, the world would not be a better place without you. And no, it is not true that you can't do what you dream of. And if I can, 2016, be in a hospital bed, defeated, staring out the window and the psych ward, and now be running my own company with lots of help. Shout out to my staff and to Joe. But I still have to want to do it. Still boils down to my participation. If I can do it, turn your impossible. Maybe I should get a t-shirt. Would anybody buy a t-shirt if I had a word that said, turn your impossible to I'm possible? That's it. That's it. So I'm going to leave you with that. Not alone. You're wanted, you're needed, you're valued, and the world would not be the same without you. I want you to go and turn your impossible to I'm possible, whether you have a disability or not. And I'm gonna publicly put it out there that I have now disability designation according to the Canadian government. I'm not getting any checks, or, by the way. But so you know, I'm considered disabled. The word disabled, disable, means I have a serious barrier. You don't get a designation of disability unless a few doctors have written out some serious documentation. So if I can do it, you can do it. I'll do it. So if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to me. Thanks for spending this hour with me. I know it's a long time, but sometimes I just feel like people need to hear some really good meat and potatoes, positive stuff, calling you out on your excuses, calling you out on your what's your why, and I'm making you think, and I just want so badly for you to have a better life. And you're welcome, Doug. And I'll tell you what I say to my friends who struggle with depression. Actually, I'll tell you this story. Not depressed. She called me up how much she struggled. And she's really good at numbers. Who's good? I hate math with a passion. Sorry, mathematics. Good for you. God didn't gift me that way. He gifted me musically. So I said to her, there's some chick on the other side of St. Thomas having wine, sitting at her bar with a quartz countertop, living it up, and she has the exact same skills as you. I love you so much. So until you change your circumstance and change a new perspective and take action on the fact, and you wake up, the gold you have in your hands, the gift that God has given you, don't call me. Because I don't want to hear anymore. Why not? Why me? Question should be, why not? Why not you? So go do it. Go do it. I can't say the other because it's a trademark. But I'm going to say to you, it's not, the question isn't why me? Why me did I get bipolar? Why me did my husband leave me? No. Question is, why not me? Why don't I get to have the life of my dream? Get into your life. Get off your butt. Stop complaining and go do something. And also, I'm going to call it out. You're smarter than you think. And some of you, I'm sensing, you already know all the answers. Just are waiting for that magical day for it to happen. It's not going to happen. Walk across the room, open your mouth, and start doing something. Get off your butt and go to the gym or call up a friend and say, will you walk with me every day at 6 a.m.? Whatever it is, figure out how you're going to get from A. I will talk to you again sometime. You're the best. And remember, there's no one else like you. And I'm always here for you. Reach out in a message. And remember, I have days that suck, just like you. But I will not, and I refuse to let them suffocate me one more day. I will not look back in regret 60 years from now and go, I have a revelation now of what I should be doing, but I can't do it because I'm 85 and it's too late. I did not give you all the gifts and talents you have so you can sit on them. Go and make it happen. Bye. Bye, YouTube family. Bye, Facebook family.